Record February for Mazda, record February for Hyundai, and record February, let me pull it up, for Kia as well. And I believe Kia just outsold Hyundai. That does not happen very often, if ever. I don't know if it's ever happened. If Kia, subsidiary of Hyundai Motor Corp, outsold Hyundai themselves. That is mind-blowing. Guys, we're going to go over today's sales. If you enjoy monthly sales updates from the automotive industry, see which brands, which models are doing well, which ones are suffering. Toyota, Honda, Ford, their sales are down, at least so far in February. And we'll see what March brings. March is still in this limbo period with the tariff situation. And I mean, I feel like this tariff situation is going to go back and forth for months. Who knows? Anyways, it's fascinating. And let's just hope we're not paying 10 grand extra per car. But yeah, you don't have to pay it unless you really want to buy a new car. That's worst case scenario. That's absolute worst case scenario. Let's think best case scenario. And gosh, so many ads. So let's get through to this. Hyundai and Kia have just set 5th straight record sales in February. All right. So their momentum is hard to believe. They are absolutely a buzzsaw in the industry right now. Watch my tariff video if you want to see how Hyundai and Kia could be hurt by tariffs, but Kia would be affected because they make the K4, a lot of them down in Mexico, and Hyundai makes the Tucson down in Mexico, so they could be affected. But let's get into this. Subaru also posting big gains as well, and like I said, Ford, Toyota, Honda all posted declines. Honda still posts monthly sales, so we'll break down Honda sales today too. Sales rose 2.8% to 62,000 vehicles for Hyundai, and 7.2% for Kia, who sold 1,300 more vehicles, roughly 63,000 vehicles for Kia in the month of February. It was a 5th consecutive gain in monthly sales year over year and the 5th straight month of record sales for both brands. Guys, they're shattering records. They are gobbling up market share. Hyundai said sales of hybrid vehicles jumped 57% last month. Hybrids are hot, we know that. Sales of electrified vehicles overall, including BEVs, grew 35%. Genesis, luxury division of Hyundai, even posted a 20% increase to 5,500 units, which was also a February record. Genesis, I mean, they're so small though. This volume is very, very small, but they're still growing. They're still thriving, I would say. All right, it's just hard for them to break through the luxury market. Very difficult. But who knows? They got good product. With good product, it can happen. They just need to keep getting more independent dealers that are not in the back door of a Hyundai dealership. Kia's electrified sales grew 22%. So here is the big score sheet here, where Automotive News has the sales numbers. All right. So if we look at Ford, they're down 8% in February, down 7% on the year. Lincoln, what the heck? I thought Lincoln had a good year last year, but look at their start. Holy cow, this is bad. Watch my Navigator review. No, what was it? The Nautilus? Gosh, words right now. Watch my Nautilus review, made in China, $80,000 hybrid, the one I tested. It was cool. It was good. Not worth $80K. But Lincoln, minus 20% in February, minus 14 on the year. Not looking hot for them. Bad start for Ford. Acura, they're still suffering due to, well, if you didn't know, I'm here in San Diego to drive the new Acura ADX. This vehicle is going to fix a lot of these sales issues that you're seeing with Acura, but TLX is likely to get discontinued soon. We'll talk more about Honda here in a little bit in Acura because we have a dedicated sales sheet for them. But Honda, still up on the year. January must have been very strong for them, but the month of February down 2.6%. All right, I'm going to look up selling days real quick because selling days, yeah, here we go. There were 24 selling days last month versus 25 in February. I feel like they should open with that. If you have one less selling day, you're probably not going to sell as many cars as you did the year before. Now that this is starting to make more sense to me, at least on why February's numbers are down. I mean, look at Genesis, up 20%. On the month, 17% on the year. Hyundai, Kia, so far about 9% up on the year. They're doing really, really well. All right. If we look at Lexus, how are they doing? about neutral on the year. They're just kind of floating along. That's good. They had a record-breaking year last year. All right. If they're slightly positive so far in 2025, they're on pace to have another record-breaking year all-time, Lexus. If we look at Toyota, minus 5.8%. Again, one less selling day on the month of February. Down 4%, though, on the year. Toyota, again, guys, RAV4 is coming out this year. Redesigned RAV4. They got so many new products coming that are going to... You're taking an electric shock and you're juicing Toyota up to the max. Battery is going to be fully charged for Toyota this year. Just wait for summer. It's going to be nuts for them. All right, with all the new products they have between Toyota and Lexus, all the new hybrid stuff, all the new EVs, which some of you, I know a lot of you don't care about, still fascinating for me. All right, Volvo, up 23% on the year. What is happening in Volvo? I thought their global sales were down so far this year. They're plowing ahead, up 40% on the month. All right, let's look at the health of the inventory right now. Inventory remains mixed across the industry. That makes sense. You have some brands that are selling super hot, like Toyota, Kia, and then you have some brands, even though Toyota's sales are down, as their inventory is not, it's not good, but it's also not good for certain models. Availability on RAV4, Camry, and Corolla. I hear the availability on those, especially the hybrids, are very, very, very low. All right, they're essentially pre-sold. If you look at Toyota's trucks, they're sitting on the lots longer. There's a 94-day supply, nearly 2% higher than at the start of the year and roughly 15% above early 2024. 94-day supply. That is massive. Typically, like, I think you would want a 60-day supply, at least according to the old standards pre-COVID. 94-day supply is huge. Now, you keep in mind that's the average. There are brands that are really above 100-day supply. It could be Stellantis, Nissan. Those are the easy. That's a low-hanging fruit always to blame, right? For the day supply to be so high. Hybrids continue to be in short supply. Toyota, Lexus, Subaru, Honda have the leanest light vehicle stockpiles overall. Brands with the highest day supply include Ford. We know Ford sales are down. Lincoln, especially down. Buick had a good year last year, but their inventory glut is happening. All right. Hyundai, big inventory. Ram, Jeep, Dodge. Don't know why Nissan's not listed in there, but Nissan's been taking drastic measures to reduce production. So that could be a bit of it. And possibly they are selling to fleet a lot. We know they are selling to fleet. So if you don't have cars sitting on the lot, if they're sold directly to fleet. Average incentives for vehicles on pickups, SUVs, crossovers, minivans, not sedans. Interesting. But it's $3,300, up $633 a year earlier. We're also seeing discount on cars for February, about $2,500, which is about a $400 discount from February 2024. The market's cooling, that is for sure. Buyers are becoming strapped for affordability and budget. So makes sense why there's more incentives, and makes sense why there are also bigger discounts on top of that. All right, moving on to Mazda. Let's go ahead and break them down with a record-breaking February. Sold almost 34,000 units, an increase of 2.5%. Now keep in mind, they broke last year's February sales record with having one less selling day. That's impressive. Year-to-date sales, 67,000, an increase of 7% compared to the same time last year. Remember, Mazda broke an all-time sales record last year here in the United States. They're already up 7%. Okay, so they're on track. We'll see what happens. There's so much that can happen this year. So their DSR rate is up as a result. So February, best sales of the CX-50 was 7,280 units sold. Best February sales for the CX-70. It's the first February that it was on sale, or maybe probably the first full month that was on sale. It looks gorgeous from this angle. That is a very beautiful car. It just, look at it from straight behind, it looks more like a minivan. Best ever sales of the CX-90. Look at the CX-90. The CX-90 is outselling the CX-70 about 4-1. Just discontinue the CX-70, guys. Like it's the same car as the CX-90, just with 2 rows. All right, Mazda 3. How is the old sedan doing? It's getting old at this point. Rest in peace, Mazda 6, as the rest of the world gets the EZ6 or the Mazda 6e, fully electric or range extended. We'll never get it. What is Mazda doing, though, in the United States with the 3? It's not doing great. The hatchback especially. I don't know what's going on with the hatchback. They're not seeing probably production volume. Maybe there's a supply chain disruption here, but it's down 40%, the hatchback, and it's tanking the sales of the sedan. I don't know what's happening with that. Let's keep moving. Miata up 100%. Miata had a rough year last year as they switched over to the ND3 refresh. So now that it's probably better availability, they're just cruising right along here. CX30 down 40%? What happened to the CX30? Is the supply chain in Mexico screwed up? Because they make the Mazda 3s down there. They make CX30s down there. What is going on? Why is this volume so low? That is crazy. I mean, tariffs aren't even in effect right now. So are they trying to get out ahead of it? Got to remember, Mazda and Honda during COVID, with all the lockdowns in China and whatnot, they reworked their entire supply chain very quickly, so they weren't as dependent on the Chinese supply market. Now, they pretty much have different ecosystems. They have a ecosystem for just the Chinese market supply chain, and then they have supply chains for the global market. So maybe this has something to do with them reworking their supply chain. I don't know. That's bizarre. CX5. I mean, it was even down in January. Both of these. Really strange. It's not like there's a redesign coming for either. There should be, but not that I'm aware of. The CX5 is next on the docket to get a redesign. All right, but the CX5 looking good. It's just aging like a fine wine. The CX5 up 9% on a DSR. It's just a great vehicle. CX50, they say CX50 total because that also includes the hybrid. All right, that's up 38%. Okay, on the month on a DSR, I believe. I think DSR is, far right. And then it's up 21% on the year in terms of volume. If we look at CX70, they have sold 2,000 units so far this year. And the CX90 has sold 10,000 units. It's more like 5-1. The CX90 outselling the CX70. So Mazda just humming right along. Honda, though. A bit of a mixed month. All right. This, just looking at this, makes my head hurt. So we're just going to go down to this graph here. Accord continues to just diminish and fade as that production in Marysville is being thwarted by the whole plant being reworked to also build EVs. Now, the Accord is supposed to also go to Indiana. That's also where the reports, whether they're accurate or not, of Honda building a new plant in Indiana to build a Civic. Who knows what's going on with that instead of Mexico. But the Accord, really, it's down a ton, 37% on a month over month. Okay, CRV also down 5%. Not sure what's happening there. HRV, though, made in Mexico, not hit with tariffs yet, just like this ADX I'm driving today. It's up 11% on the month of February, up 5% on the year. So the HRV is it the second best selling? HRV, oh, okay, no, the Civic. How did I just skipped over the Civic. The Civic is down 10% on the month and then 6% on the year. Don't know why. HRV, like I said, is kind of making up for that as it's having a really good start to this year. HRV. Honda Odyssey. Love the Odyssey. Watch all of my reviews on the 25 model. Up 16% on the year. The Odyssey, the thing's so old, but it's so good. You know it's printing money for them. The Passport. Sales are up on the Passport as it's getting a redesign. I'm driving it this month, so stay tuned for the new Passport. But the Passport's up about 30% on the year. Pilot up 5%. Watch my review on the Pilot. It's just so vanilla, and some people like vanilla, but the Odyssey has so much more character than the Pilot. It's crazy. Can't believe that's a reality, but it is. Prologue. Prologue has sold 6,600 units so far this year. Holy cow! It's outselling the Ridgeline. Ridgeline desperately needs the Passport's new styling, but they all need hybrids. The large platform needs hybrids. I say that every chance I get. All right, let's move on to Acura. Integra down 30%. Got to remember, the Integra and the TLX are both built in Marysville Auto, where the Accord is. And so their production's all massively hit. Now, also remember, TLX is likely to be discontinued this summer. Look how small the volume is on it. And that's why the ADX coming into the lineup couldn't come soon enough, because their sales volume on Tegra TLX are tanked because of the reworking of the plant. Long term, hey, they'll be able to produce all sorts of different EVs for these brands. They'll have a lot more flexibility and whatnot. But all right, MDX down 5% on the year, down 5% on the month. RDX down 14%. Acura's having a tough go. What were they down? If we go back to Acura's down 4.6%. It seems like they're down more than that. What am I missing? Oh, it's the ZDX. The ZDX is boosting their numbers, okay, quite a bit. Otherwise, they would be down a lot. Their gas cars are down immensely. All right, the RDX down 20% on the month. MDX down 5%. Those are the best sellers. Integra, like, their volume is so low right now. If you don't account for the ZDX, we're at about 7,500 sales. 7,500 sales, that's not that much above Genesis. Remember, Genesis sold about 5,500? Wow, crazy. So let's keep moving. Hopefully, Acura's ADX comes and just boosts the brand. It's not looking good for Acura right now, unfortunately. It's really sad. But, hey, they're getting a new EV this year. We'll see what happens. All right. Hyundai posting record-breaking February as well. Sales increased 3%. Again, that's impressive because there was one less selling day. Santa Fe Hybrid, Tucson Ioniq 6 hit February records. Electrified sales up 35%. Hybrids up 57%. EVs plateauing 6%. Now, Hyundai invited me to drive the new Ioniq 6. I know some media got the wonderful opportunity to go to Korea to drive it. That's amazing. One day I'll do that. But I had to turn down the Ioniq 9 media drive here in the States because I have family visiting. So it's I'll just wait for me to throw all the kids on it in there when I get it for a test car. If it's anywhere as good as the EV9, then I'm probably going to love it. Anyways, that's going to help their EV sales, because right now their EV sales are not growing at the rate they probably expected. So let's look at the Elantra. Wow. We saw Civic was down, not the Elantra, up 24% on the year. Ioniq 5 up 36% on the year. Why are their EV sales down? Or not down, but only up 5-6%. That's weird. Ioniq 6 up 13%. Kona, maybe it's because the Kona sales are down and the Kona EV is down. That's a possibility. Not sure why the Kona sales are down so much. 20%, 20+%. Santa Cruz, they need a hybrid on this. All right, they're probably limiting production because of the maybe lack of demand. If they had the Santa Fe's hybrid on this, they'd be crushing it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And here we go. Santa Fe, up 17% on the year, 3% on the month. Sonata, long live the sedans. Hyundai sedans are crushing. I see a lot of Sonatas. I see a lot of K4s. I've been seeing K4s everywhere. I know it's Kia. We'll get to them in a second, but it's impressive. Tucson, up 16% on the year. Venue, they'll probably discontinue this car eventually because it's, I don't know, probably not making them a lot of money. Subaru, I guess we'll finish with Subaru. Let's get to Kia. Again, just like Hyundai, 5 straight months of record-breaking months. 63,000 units. They outsold Hyundai. It's just mind-blowing. Year-to-date total up 9.2% over last year's record-breaking pace. And demand for the all-new K4 compact is sedan. I'm seeing them everywhere, guys. They have such a unique look to them. Their lights are very unique, too. So the sedan sales have increased every month starting in August. And the K4 has had its best ever sales in February, if I'm reading this. So, of course it has. The K4 is new. But maybe they're saying it's even outselling the Forte. It's possible. The K4... The Carnival MPV, they don't call it a minivan. It's definitely a minivan. Those are both up. The Carnival is up 44%. Sportage is up 8%. Telluride up 13%. And those all delivered a best February performance. Electrified vehicle sales rose 22%. So let's see. I mean, you guys, they don't give me percentages, and my head kind of hurts. So I'm not going to look at every single model here. Carnival's crushing it this year, up 2,000 units. It's great because I was getting like 37 miles per gallon on that hybrid. It's a good minivan. Odyssey's better as long as fuel economy is not the most important thing to you. All right. Or technology, because the technology in the Carnival's nice. Anyways, Odyssey's better in every other regard other than those. Okay. Telluride. Telluride, I take it over a Pilot. Just saying. 18,000. And we're getting actually a redesign on the Telluride this year, but they're up 3,000 units compared to last year. Sorrento crushing it. Sportage crushing it. Seltos down like the Hyundai Kona. Interesting that the smaller vehicles are down. Niro. I still don't understand what's going on with the Niro. The sales keep dropping on it despite hybrids being in high demand. I don't know. Maybe there's some recalls going on with it. I don't know. Kia Soul. That vehicle still trucking along, and it's actually positive on the year. K5. Like the Sonata, up about 2,000 units, doing great. K4, look at the volume on the K4, guys. The K4, oh doggy, look at this. The K4 is the second best-selling vehicle in the lineup, and it's almost outselling the Sportage. It's only behind by 1,200 units. Long live sedans. Go K4, go. That I haven't test driven one yet. I need to email my press fleet to let them know I need to drive this car ASAP. Okay, and let's finish with Subaru. February sales up 4.1%. 31 consecutive months of sales growth as the hybrids are starting to come out in the Forester, and we'll get a new Outback soon. Solterra achieves best ever February. It's nothing to hang your hat on. We know they're probably losing money incentivizing the hell out of it. Ascent, not ascending, continuing to descending. BRZ, up on the month but down on the year. Such a niche product. Crosstrek, up 2.1%. Look at the sales volume, guys. Crosstrek crushing it, up 6% on the year. Forester is pretty much at max capacity. They're down a couple hundred units on the year, so they're only down less than a percentage point, but I feel like they're running into a limiter with production capacity there on the Forester. Impreza up 3%. Impreza's doing okay. Rest in peace Legacy, and their sales are also up, probably fire sales on the Legacy as it's been discontinued, but the Impreza up 6% on the year. That is surprising. Maybe people need more affordable cars. Maybe things are just getting too expensive, and I don't know. Maybe the Impreza offers that cheaper entry into the brand. All right, Solterra sold almost 2,000 units so far this year, and Outback now cemented in the third position in the Subaru lineup. All right, kind of makes sense as maybe the top end could be getting squeezed with affordability, and like the Forester is fine. Like as long as you don't need the turbo power of the Outback, the Forester is fine, and the Forester is going to have the hybrid. Now, I feel like Subaru, they're so conservative, so boring in a lot of ways, but such a good car brand. They really double down on their identity as all-wheel drive standard, unless it's BRZ. They double down on their identity as a dog brand. Old people love their Subarus. Subarus are huge in the Pacific Northwest, the Rockies. Subarus just have such a big following, a diehard fan base. Them being conservative has got them where they are. Now they're having hybrids, and their fuel economy, the power that the Forester sorely needed, the power especially, is coming. The Crosstrek is going to get it. The Crosstrek already has this hybrid in Japan, but it's coming into the United States Crosstrek, and it's going to come into the Outback as well. Can't wait. WRX up 23% on the month, up 28% on the year. Long live the last real fun Subaru, right? The last sports car. The last manual, too. The Legacy doesn't have a manual anymore. The last manual for Subaru is a WRX stateside, right? But I'm going to end it there, guys. I got to catch my breath. I got to edit this, and then I'm going to hop into an ADX, drive around Southern California, and tell you what it's like to drive. I'm very, very excited to drive the new ADX. We know Acura. Acura needs these sales. These numbers are being propped up, and they're not good, but they're being propped up by the ZDX. The ZDX outselling the TLX by like 3 or 4 to 1 right now. About 4 to 1. So, wow. I'll see you guys in the comments. Stay tuned for my driving impressions. March 13th, 9 a.m. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.